Hey y'all, it's K Mickey here. This is just my attempt at making those fluffy Japanese pancakes that I've been seeing all over social media. The recipe that I decided to use was the one from Just One Cookbook. It was a simple one, and then I also had all the ingredients already, so I decided to go with that. And this is the picture, my motivation. Thought mine would come out that way, but instead they came out looking like that, but still delicious nonetheless. So you'll need 2 large eggs for this one. 1½ tablespoons of whole milk, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 cup of cake flour, and I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder there and 2 tablespoons of sugar. So the first thing that I'm doing here is separating my egg yolks from my egg whites. I'm also going to link the recipe down below so you can follow that directly. And if you're an idiot like me, you forget that you're separating the egg yolks and the egg whites, so you just drop the whole thing in there. So I had to go ahead and separate it. So I placed the egg whites in the freezer, and then I transferred my yolks to a fresh clean bowl, and then to the yolks I added the milk and the vanilla. So the recipe says to whisk this until it's thick and frothy, so I basically just whisked it until it was what I considered thick and frothy, but I'm not sure if it was right. Next, I'm just sifting in the cake flour and the baking powder and then mixing that. The recipe states to not over mix it, so I just did a little bit there until everything was incorporated. I'm pretty much a person, I can't really cook. I can follow a recipe normally, but I still mess up recipes, so I kind of make these videos for people who aren't really that creative, but can follow a recipe, and I'll show you how it turns out before you try it. And then here I'm just beating the egg whites and then just adding the sugar in gradually until it's white and glossy. So I just pulled out my yolk mixture from earlier, and it was pretty stiff, and then I started transferring the egg whites into that yolk mixture, and then basically dumped the yolk mixture into the egg whites and just folded everything in. So I just placed a dab of oil on the napkin and then oiled the pan a little bit, and then added a couple scoops of the mixture. By this time I pretty much knew it wasn't going to turn out right. I think I added the second scoop too soon, and it kind of spread out too much, whereas I think it should have been higher. But the recipe says to add some water to the pan so that way the pancakes don't dry out, which is what I did. So I tried to see how the pancakes were doing, and they were sticking to the pan. So I was kind of over it at that point. I let it cook a little bit longer just because I couldn't get it up at all. So at this point I was ready to flip it, and that was my what the heck hand, just because they weren't turning out like the pictures. I know I did something wrong, but I just don't know what. Whatever. I let it cook for a little bit longer on the other side and just added some more water there and covered it up. And while we're waiting for these to finish cooking, I would love to see other people attempt to make these and Hopefully they turn out right. Like I said, I don't really know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong. But I would love to watch your videos. So just comment, and y'all definitely check out your channel. So I just dabbed a little bit of powdered sugar on top just to kind of salvage it a little bit, make it look kind of presentable. And then some butter pecan maple syrup, which is my absolute favorite. I buy it from Publix, you know, just to kind of jazz it up. Overall, they were really delicious pancakes. They just didn't have that fluffy quality that I wanted, that I always see in the photos. So not too disappointed with them, but it's definitely not what I wanted to put out. But I had already filmed this whole video, and there was no way that I was just gonna delete all the footage. Y'all were gonna get this either way. Alright, so that's it. Just finishing out the pancakes. I do appreciate you watching the video. Like I said, comment below with your videos, and I'll definitely check them out. Thanks. Bye-bye.